Call the meeting to order.
Coffee?
Here.
Kelly?
Here.
McKinley?
Yes.
Kessler?
Here.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I think we have one public comment tonight. Lois Schweitzer, would you like to come up? Yeah, sure.
I'm with the Honda Forest Committee, and we're having our event this year again at South Park at Area 51 Campground. We were wanting permission to have the park hours extended. We'll begin setup on Tuesday, October 23rd. The hay racks will arrive on Thursday, October 26th. The event itself will take place on Friday, October 26th between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. and Saturday, October 27th between 3 p.m. and 11 p.m.
You just wanted it extended, because what was it now? 10 o'clock was quiet hours or something like that?
I don't know if there are any other restrictions. But we're also going to have hay racks there, just sitting in the parking room to have that. And then clean up by that Sunday.
I don't know if you guys went to this last year, pretty good thing. Lots of people from out of town. I don't have a problem extending the hours. We'll have to close the campground. So we'll close it from like the 22nd through 28th, 29th, whatever.
Great.
So we'll be closed for camping all week. I said, you guys okay with that?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as previous year. We've added an attraction, and it's just that we need to extend the hours out so people can set up, and then we can tear it down.
Sure.
And we'll police it up as usual. Make sure it's clean.
Sounds like a plan. I know there's going to need to be some cleanup out there. We've had trouble getting people to mow it this season after they volunteered. So I know there's going to be some tree limbs that need trimmed, and we can go out there and take care of that.
The only consideration that we might need is the area dumpster. It's not used to provide the dumpster, now it's area. Make sure that dumpster's empty at the beginning so we can get trash picked up and put in it.
Okay. Well, what's the 22nd? Sunday?
Off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
looks like on Monday.
22nd is a Monday.
So you need it empty on the 22nd?
We're looking at September.
No, October right there.
Oh, I see.
It ought to be empty from,
Yeah,
when do they pick up?
They empty on Thursdays, so.
Do they pick those up every week?
They
There
pick it up
shouldn't
on-
be anything going on in October out there, baseball or spring, so they should be empty anyway.
All right.
I would think.
But if you have an issue, like you get out there and it's looking full by, Tuesday or something, let us know, we can call them.
The regular service day is Thursday.
Thursday.
All right, so that should be really good.
Yeah. Anybody got anything, any questions? I think we're okay with that.
I think we did a quick resolution last year.
Well, I was gonna say, we could even do something for the consent agenda on the 1st.
Could be fine. Anybody got anything else? All right, thank you, Laura. Section 1 will be the consent agenda. Move to approve.
Second.
Call it.
Coffee?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Kessler?
Yes.
Carries.
Section 2 will be unfinished business.
Move to approve ordinance 1012, amending ordinance 977 regarding hotel room gross rental receipts tax donations.
Discussion.
So what I changed from 977A is, all I did was take out the up to $5,000. So now it just reads that a maximum would not exceed 50%. This does not say we're gonna give 50%. It just means you can give anything you want as long as it doesn't exceed 50% of what we have. That gives you the freedom, we don't have to keep changing it, but it still caps it to protect the funds. That's all I did. That way, if you pass this, it would allow you to give Heritage Days more than the 5,000 that was in the original ordinance.
In the original ordinance, the reason we put the 5,000 was so that it wasn't first come, first served kind of thing. So the first person up couldn't take half of what was there and then.
Well, we were low on.
Yeah, we had no
funds.
money
We were
either,
out of money,
so-
So,
There was no money to give.
I know what I'm assuming at some point or another, we'll be low on funds again.
We might be. The one difference, I will say, is that it was originally in the general fund and it was hard to manage. It is
Right.
now in its own fund
Okay.
and is much more protected, I guess, because it doesn't just get absorbed and kind of disappear. It's actually in its own fund, and we can keep a better eye on it. That's at least one thing.
Okay.
we just have to, watch what we do with it, so.
I mean, you can always talk about it at every budget too, when budget time comes around, because we did budget, this year in the hotel motel. So that would be your chance too, to review it a second time. Hey, what's going on with the fund this year? Okay.
Any other discussion? Everybody, nothing? Call it?
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
motion carries.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2018-14-2018 Heritage Days donation for $7,500 from the hotel motel account.
I'm sorry, Scott.
I understand
It was tabled last time, so what I suggested is that someone move to remove it from the table.
motion to remove this from the table. Resolution 2018-14, 2018 Heritage Days donation of $7,500 from the hotel motel account.
Discussion?
Not to remove it from the table.
So we got to vote to remove it.
You gotta vote,
Right,
yeah.
right, and then,
McKinley,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
motion carries.
Now, you would need a motion.
Yes.
Motion to approve resolution 2018-14 for the 2018 Heritage Days donation of $7,500 from the hotel motel account.
Second.
Any discussion on this one?
I pretty much asked my questions. I mean, I had a meeting with Elizabeth today and we talked about it, so I think I got everything cleared up. I don't have anything
Scott?
to
Willard?
No.
Call it?
Testori,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
motion carries.
Section 3 will be new business.
Motion to approve resolution 2018-16, adoption of inducement.
Second it.
Discussion?
You want some,
Yep.
you want some help here?
Yep.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Basically, it's, the title is, basically it allows you guys to reimburse yourself costs for establishing the TIF and any other costs that you'll incur along the lines of the Farmer City Forward TIF redevelopment plan. So we ask that you, while not required by the Illinois statute, we suggest that you go ahead and pass this, so you have something on record that so that you can use TIF funds to help pay for these costs.
Anybody got any discussions on that? No? Call it?
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
motion carries.
Motion to approve ordinance 1013, adoption of establishing interested parties, registry, and rules.
Second.
Discussion?
Help here as well. Pretty much, Freedom of Information Act laws pretty much apply here. But what is required of us to do in the process of establishing a TIF district, we are required to pass ordinance establishing an interested parties registry. Basically what it means is that folks can, anybody interested in finding out more about the TIF redevelopment plan and process can come here, get with the city, sign a registration form, and we will then send them information as it relates to the TIF process and TIF plan. So basically the booklets that you guys get, the resolutions that you guys get will simply be made available to those folks that that sign up on that registry. In reality, if someone FOIA or Freedom of Information Act city, the same thing would apply. So it's a little antiquated, but it is a requirement of the city to pass. Yes, sir.
Can we put one of these in the library?
Can we? Sure.
Sure.
Maybe be a good place to go with it.
And what we will do upon its passage is this will be posted in the local paper too, as well, informing the public to say, hey, come on in.
I'm sure we'll put it on our website as well.
Yeah.
Anything else? No. Call it.
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Coffee, motion carried.
Okay.
You approve the motion to proceed with the TIF plan?
Number
There's a
three.
presentation on the
Oh,
eligibility.
jeez. I apologize, it's the wrong line.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'll just kind of go through. We
Post if you want to.
I'm kind of close to my area. I don't know where the actual proper place is.
Talk to the camera a little bit.
I gotcha. Basically, we've actually talked a little bit about the eligibility study already. Just kind of going back, but for our friends in the audience and online, basically we can't just circle an area in the city and say, here's our TIF. Certain qualifications need to exist in order for you guys to declare the area TIF district area. Basically, per our booklet, I'm on page 13, 14, and 15. Like I said, we've already covered a lot of these already when the last time we talked. Basically, the area suffers from economic obsolescence. About 27% of the parcels are found to be obsolete in some form, mostly by way of economic obsolescence. We've lost about $1.5 million in EAV over the last 5-6 years. We've got deteriorating factors both in terms of our structures that are in this area and service deterioration as well. Quite a few areas where parking lots, sidewalks, streets, curb and gutter are issues. We've got some inadequate utilities in our area. In fact, about 91% of the parcels exhibit some form of inadequate utilities. Mostly issues with our water and sewer system. Not really a surprise. I mean, the area we're focusing on is the oldest area of the city. As well, we get deleterious land use, lack of community planning, and we have stagnant or declining property values. Basically, when you compare this area to the rest of the city, it's not performing. There's not as much investment occurring in this area as there is in areas outside of the TIF district area. And in fact, we have had a few years where property values have declined. And so those become issues. Those allow the area to qualify. Some of our undeveloped ground, we have issues with diversity of ownership, obsolete planning, deterioration, and again, issues with parcel AVs. And then the area also suffers from flooding and consists of unused rail yards, rail tracks, or railroad rights of way. Not fun stuff to talk about, but all issues that we hope to remedy by this actual TIF district. And so that's pretty much an overview, a quicker overview of how the area qualifies, how it's eligible for TIF establishment. And so if there aren't any questions eligibility-wise, I would ask that we go ahead and make a motion to proceed with the TIF plan, which is sort of the second half of the book, and I'll kind of explain it as well.
I move to go ahead with the TIF. So is it number 6, feasibility study? 4. Motion to proceed with TIF plan.
Second.
Call.
McKinley,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
motion carried.
Mayor, you don't mind, I'll just kind of continue the process. What you have ultimately is the TIF, the Farmer City Forward TIF District redevelopment plan. We've got areas, the first half of our book covers how the area qualifies. The second half of our book deals with what we're going to do to make improvements to those areas. Are we going to remedy some of those issues I just talked about? And then just sort of looking at our area for our friends in the audience, much of what is within our TIF revolves around, well, the school's in it, we've got downtown area, we've got areas around 54 and our Interstate 74 corridor. If I kind of take us through, we've got many of our larger employers, our business-based folks. Our plan outlines our ability to help our existing businesses, help them expand, help them make improvements to their buildings. Downtown, while we have a business district, we'll now have a TIF district program in order to help some of our downtown businesses make improvements to their building. We've talked about it in time. You guys can do a facade improvement program, which is a little grant program designed to help do some improvements to their local businesses. Streetscape and beautification is a big component of this, and certainly we can do a little bit more to improve the streetscape and improve the utility system, especially here in the downtown portion of Farmer City. Shooting along 54 and kind of getting in our Casey's general area, there's room for additional development. We want to do some things to help recruit additional retail, and certainly want to do something from a grocery standpoint. We've kind of outlined some of those things in our objectives as well, using the TIF to do more with our local grocers. And then obviously, and that study was really good. They really kind of talk about, what did you call it, your Interstate 74?
It was a 74 feasibility.
Yeah, feasibility study, yes. Outline the real potential that you guys have along the interstate and kind of what's necessary in order to facilitate development. Well, that's great, you can have that, but now we actually have a potential financing program to help pay for the utility extensions, the electric, gas, water, sewer, that's required of that area to develop the way we'd like to see it. And so the TIF, our program and our objectives sort of outline a couple of those things necessary of that redevelopment.
And then a little bit Depot Road, and
Yes.
we have the property out on Depot, and there's agribusiness up there, so.
Yeah, that
there's
is
over there, too.
more the first, yeah, absolutely. That's more, I didn't do a good job on the first
That's
bullet
okay.
point, but that was the intent. This isn't, we have our, for everybody that knows, we have an existing TIF that's due to retire here in the next 5-ish years. That's mostly, it's been around a little bit, and that was mostly put together, well, not mostly, it was put together for residential purposes. This one is going to be your commercial, industrial, retail type of TIF, because currently you don't really have a program to help with that. So I think this is going to serve you guys well over time. Certainly all your neighbors have been using the TIF to facilitate commercial and industrial development, and I think it's going to help you guys out. Just, unless there's any questions, what I'll talk quickly about is just sort of next steps. I'm going to get you better copies of this. Just we're waiting on your legal description, and been working with your engineering folks on the legal description of the area, and so we'll get you some kind of copies bound. Not much is going to change at all from here. At your next meeting, we're going to ask that you pass an ordinance establishing a public hearing. I don't think I need to be here for that, because that's literally all we have to do. But that does start a lot of the official public aspects of the TIF process after that meeting. Our public hearings due to be held on November 19th. We hold that at 5:30, and that is a regularly scheduled council meeting. So we just hope. But actually,
Their joint review board in October, I think, isn't it?
yeah, so that actually would be October 19th, where we want the mayor and you to, not everybody has to make that. But that's our meeting with the taxing districts, and we are doing some things with them as well. But we also will be doing some mailings and those sorts of things, especially after the October 1st meeting, where just letting folks know what we're doing, what we hope to accomplish. And so that's it. Everything seems to be going as planned. They got extra maps and everything. What do you guys need from us? Let us know.
I know they said they were finishing up the legal, so we should have that imminently.
Yes. If there's not any questions, we would ask at number 6, it's just motion to place the TIF plan feasibility study on file and to approve sending the TIF plan.
I'll make a motion to place the,
Thank you.
make a motion to place the TIF plan and feasibility study on file 10 days and approve sending the TIF plan and 7.
Actually, I should read and feasibility study.
And feasibility study, I don't know if 7's in there.
Yeah.
And feasibility study to all affected taxing districts.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Second it.
Call it.
Testori,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley. Motion carried.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2018-17, approval of the bid from Schaumburg and Schaumburg Construction.
You win.
$76,797.97 for the water main replacement in the 100 block of West Water Street.
Second.
Any discussion?
Okay. Not really. I mean, we had a good turnout. This is just one block of water main. They talked to the engineers today. He thinks they can crank it out in less than 2 weeks.
The post office get everything cleared up?
This is something different. No, we're
Oh, I'm
still
sorry,
working on
that's
that.
right.
That's okay. I can address that in my notes or something, but, so yeah, once this is approved, I think they're gonna be pretty close to starting.
Awesome. Anybody got anything else? Call it.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Testori.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I move for the approval of 2018-18, approval of bid for GA Irrigation Centers for $122,320 for wastewater treatment plant disinfection improvements.
That is-
Second.
That is resolution 2018-18, correct?
Yes.
This, as you know, is required by the EPA. Our MPDES permit was revoked, so this is something that we have to do. It's just going to improve our disinfection procedures for our outflow out of our wastewater treatment plant. We only received one bid, although it wasn't really far off from the engineer's estimate, and that's why they were comfortable with moving forward. Plus, we've worked with GA Rich before. Actually, Calvin really likes them, says they do a good job.
Maybe a dumb question, but where's our water flow out to?
The creek and/or the excess flow lagoon. That's one of the reasons why because then the creek ends up in Lake Clinton.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
get you a
why
big picture of
it's a
the creek.
recreational area, which is why they don't like it.
Somebody told me the Cub Scout, you guys can take that right out of there.
But it was good, it was under budget, both of these were, so.
Good. Any other discussion? Anybody?
No.
Call it.
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley, Testori,
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Motion carried.
We don't have an executive session tonight. Do you have any other items in section 5?
I was just gonna mention Water Washington. So again, I talked to the engineers today, and they're trying to set up what's called a pre-construction meeting. You have that with your contractors, and it's really up to the contractor to kind of tell us, that's what we've been waiting for, is where they're gonna stage, how they're gonna
Sure.
set up. And so we're trying to get that scheduled, so that then we can either invite the public or have that information to get to the public. So I've got area garbage on hold. I've got the postmaster on hold. We have the mailboxes ready to go, but it's waiting for this last
They just
report.
doing one of the little portable box things with the
Yeah, we did.
keys.
We bought like 8 boxes, and he's setting them up to the right height and everything for the post office. But they still had some questions about parking, and, so we're waiting to get the contractor. I was a little worried about the timeline, because I said it's getting a little late, because, and they're contractually bound now to get it done before winter, so.
Right. In the email you said, Calvin has 3 hookups left on Maple Street.
Yes, and they have a leak to do tomorrow,
Right.
and then they're gonna do another one this week.
And then they're gonna spray patch that
Yeah, to hold it down, you know, so we don't have to keep adding gravel
Right,
until the spring.
right. Good.
Do you have anything else in your city manager's
No.
report for us?
Unless you, oh, I should say, I'm, you know, with a couple of you going to the IML, and then I have my ICMA conference, so I'll be out of the office until the 1st, but obviously available by email and phone.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Call it.
McKinley,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
motion carried.